Nation of Fitin10. It is day 70 of the challenge. That's right, it's the final day of Fitin10. And you may recall me saying way back when that before you know it, I'll be saying it is the final day. And of course, here we are. It comes so fast. 70 days is not long. But hopefully this is a spark and or better yet, a seed that is going to flourish and allow you to expand and build and hopefully continue some very good habits. And so we'll talk about that in a second. But I want to commend you guys for having the courage to jump into something such as this. This is for a lot of people going from, perhaps 0 kilometers an hour to, 150. It's a huge jump. It is a major commitment, and so much so that I eventually will be putting together an introductory Fitin10 for those people who are coming from a background of basically at least a long time speaking level of being sedentary and maybe having absolutely no idea of nutrition. But I want to commend you for having the courage to join in, to do this, to give it your best shot. Even I know there's going to be some people that don't show up to the final scan. That's always the case. And I still want to commend you guys for coming in, for trying. This, as I just mentioned, is a massive change to your lifestyle. And it's hard for me to really try to explain that to people when they sit down for the first time pre-challenge. And I try to, of course, I never want to discourage somebody from doing it, but I really try to get through that. This is a big jump for most people. And so kudos to you for joining, for taking part and for giving it your best shot. And I want to say, regardless of whether you did poorly in the challenge, whether you maybe didn't finish the challenge, or whether you got 30+% fat loss, ultimately what matters is that you keep trying. I really want to emphasize this. You've got to keep going, because you cannot hide from your health. You cannot hide from your health. I'm going to say it one more time. You cannot hide from your health. You may not have to deal with it now, but eventually it's going to creep up. And the sooner you start to take a hold of your diet, the sooner you start to take a hold of your physicality, the better off or the easier it's going to be as you continue through the aging process, right? Which is, something that we're all going to go through, right? We are going through right now, every day. And this is super important, and it's really hard to grasp, especially if you don't have anything that's affecting you at the moment. If physically speaking you're okay, even mentally speaking you don't have anything that's really challenging you, then you may not think too much of it, but eventually it's going to happen. And so the sooner that you take hold of it, the better off you're going to be. Now, I hope that the Fitin10 was at very least a seed that will flourish and allow you to continue to expand down this road. And I really want to encourage you to keep up a certain level of fitness, okay? And specifically speaking, if you can weight train a minimum of 2 days per week, okay? And if you have a hard time with that, do our online classes. Join our online classes. I know some of you who are in this have already joined the online classes post-challenge. This would be a huge help. If you're not struggling with that, if you can set this habit up for yourself and go in and train yourself, then this is awesome. You could follow some of our old workouts that we used to send out, or any of the future ones that we send out for that matter. When it comes to your food intake, I want you to always think about what you're eating. Think about real whole foods. The more, and I feel like sometimes there is a bit of an exaggeration, but we are learning more and more about a lot of processed foods and a lot of stuff that's going in there that is more harmful than what we would have ever thought. And so I really want to encourage you to try to eat as much real whole food as possible and get a good serving of protein every meal. Yes, this is important for body composition, and that's an offshoot to your health. or I should say body composition is when you're working towards your health as an offshoot, really. That would be the more appropriate way of looking at it. But ultimately, we need to be looking at these things not just from a point of vanity, but from a point of health. And think about your health. All right, so think about maintaining a certain level of exercise. This includes cardiovascular work as well. Okay, even if you fall off the wagon, sometimes you've got to get back on, you've got to keep going. And of course, what you're eating every time you eat, right? What was my saying about every time you eat? Every time you sit down to eat something, it's a short-term investment in how you feel, a mid-term investment in how you look, and a long-term investment in your freedom from disease, right? So we want to make sure that we think about this. We cannot hide from it. We cannot run away from it. Okay, so as a general recommendation, as a bare minimum, I'm going to recommend that you do 2 resistance-based workouts per week, at least 2 hours of resistance-based training per week. And depending on the amount of resistance training you're doing, if you're doing the bare minimum, try to do at least 3 individual sessions of dedicated cardiovascular work. Putting that aside, the exercise portion, even just getting out and moving more, trying to improve on your steps. Again, it doesn't have to be all or nothing. It can be some. And some is much better than none, right? Some is much better than none. We want to try to keep up with this. We want to try to, again, input these things that when we do it enough times over, it just becomes habitual and it almost becomes part of our life that we don't want to stop it. Because I can tell you for sure, and you may not see it initially, but once it becomes ingrained, it actually gets harder to stop after a certain point. And a perfect example of this is if you eat, quote, very clean for a long period of time, if you eat lots of real whole foods and you stay away from those processed foods, and you do this for a long period of time, and then you go back and you start eating some of these foods that, whether it's chips or pop or cakes or some of these foods, you're gonna have a hard time eating those foods. You're gonna find that they don't agree with you, and you're also gonna find that you're much more sensitive to them. So again, I really hope that the Fitin10 challenge was an impetus to a much greater roadmap for health for you as you continue on through your life. Now that being said, if you want to do another Fitin10, we are going to continue. We're going to expand. Fitin10.com is not quite up yet, but it will be soon. So stay tuned for that. I will be sending out messages about this. So, hopefully you are getting our messages. You haven't by accident I'll say by accident, deregistered from our email list, because I'll be sending out future things about this to you. So stay tuned for the Fitin10, and also Martina, as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, she's going to be running online classes as well. All right, so if you want to do our online classes, which I do recommend, especially if you have a hard time being accountable, show up to those. Okay, the new Fitin10, by the way, we're going to be running 6 scans. That's right, 1 every 2 weeks. So we're really going to try to push that accountability factor, which I think is you can't really overdo accountability. But once again, I want to say to you, I commend you for having the courage to do something as so grand as this challenge. It is a huge undertaking. After all, this is my area of expertise. This is my lifestyle, so it's very, very easy for me. So it's, I'm not going to sit here and say this is so easy, you should just be able to do it. Just check or tick the check boxes, as I like to say. I know it's not that easy for a lot of people, and I can't certainly speak on behalf of how busy your life is or how many responsibilities you have or priorities you have on the go. So again, I commend you guys, and it takes a lot of courage, and I'm going to get to the message of the day because, this is something that you need to remember, really, okay? Among many, many things I've talked about, and that is that, you can start late. You can be unsure, you can act differently, you can try and fail, and you can try and fail, and you can try again and fail, and try again and fail, and try again and fail, and try again and fail. And after all of that, and even more, you can still succeed. You can still be successful. Okay, so I'm going to say it one more time. Don't forget, you can. You can start late. You can be unsure. You can act differently. You can try and fail. You can fall down. You can self-sabotage. You can give up for a short period of time. And you can try again and give up and try again and give up. And after all of that, you can still be successful. It is the courage to continue that counts. It is the courage to continue that ultimately counts. Okay, so on that note, I want to wish you guys one last positive energy, positive vibes. Believe in yourself, and for the love of God, give some gratitude. And of course, I won't talk to you. I won't talk to you again. Probably not. Well, actually, that's not true, because there is going to be a finale in a week's time. Okay, next Saturday, not tomorrow, but the following Saturday. I think it's April 1st. April 1st, there will be a finale. I will send out an email about it. In addition to that, I meant to send this out, and I cannot believe I forgot to send it out. So I like to send it out a few days early. I will give you an exit strategy. So check out the exit strategy, and do your best to try to follow it. And if you have any questions, just reach out to me, and I'm happy to help you with it. Again, in the future, if you want to follow me, I'm going to be on Instagram at Fitin10 Challenge. That's the Instagram handle. And also the website that's coming is fitin10.com. Okay, fitin10.com. Okay, you guys, much love. And if there's anything I can do for you in the future, please reach out to me. And I'm always here for you. This is my passion. This is what I like to do. And it is a pleasure to help you. Okay? We will hopefully see you in a week's time at the finale challenge, which again, it's going to happen Saturday, April 1st at 10:30 a.m. I will send out a reminder about it. Okay? See you guys.